first place.
I mean, Gen.G have the hardest match of their phase coming up, or of part 1 coming up tomorrow versus Tempest. So you really have to think, if they struggle against Miracle, maybe Tempest comes out on top in that head-to-head tomorrow.
Hey Rapid, we will see. There was a choice from both, from Gen.G to go into Volskaya. So this time, of course, Miracle, they're choosing map. Gen.G wants to get that first pick. It is a Sky Temple, which Gen.G would have chosen anyhow if they won the first game.
Right.
They love to snowball into this map, and they finish up with lots of times with BOE or sometimes Dragonshire. So it is still the pattern. They do have first pick, first ban this time.
Okay, so at least that will change a little bit. But what really went so wrong for Gen.G in that first draft phase? Was it just a weird Asmodan draft, or was there anything else that kind of stood out to you, G-Clef?
Weird Asmodan draft, and also not really using Asmodan as a semi-global, always just joining teamfight like they would always have. But their drafting was not really a style to have all the team fights together. I understand he did go for lots of auto attacks, but not in those kind of positioning where if you don't have the peel, the back line will be threatened by Judy's burrow charge all the time. That's what happened. And it's a great jet propulsion by Nachojin all the time. And you can see the frustration on Rich's face there.
I was trying to make it meta, and it didn't work. His Asmodan definitely did not put the globe in global in game number 1.
And they want Raynor. Banned Malfury in this case. Miracle has the choice to let that Raynor go for the first time in Korea.
I have to think, out of all of the teams you would want to maybe give Raynor to, Gen.G are probably last on that list.
Yes, I was waiting for this moment. Yes, it is open. It's a bait. It's 100% a bait here.
Now, G-Clef,
you do want to give the Raynor and possibly grab crazy amount of CC. That's what Raynor's weak against. We see Raynor destroying in the Hero League, only in the Hero League. Competitive League, I've seen the games yesterday. There we go. We do have Raynor locked in for Gen.G.
All right, for the first time in HGC Korea, we are going to get a chance to see what Raynor looks like here. Maybe you guys have been watching HGC NA or EU. You've seen a little bit of Raynor there. It hasn't looked that great. I was really excited. I tuned in. I was watching Fnatic versus Zealots earlier on yesterday, and they make Raynor look really balanced over there. We'll see what Gen.G can do with it. It is locked in.
Yeah, this will surely break that 50% in HGC Raynor. Either it goes up or down. And Miracle, they seem pretty ready for it already. Got that Phoenix to Haka right after. Gen.G, they go with their comfort picks. Making sure they have plays so Raynor can provide an escape for Raynor there with the bunker. And also carries him to dash out with the speed boost there a little bit.
And I love the Dahaka draft Falstad ban. That's, of course, the two most popular globals. You sit them up top lane and they can come wherever you need them. But now with that Falstad ban, they might be a little bit of a mismatch here if Miracle can leverage that global advantage. Gen.G, if they don't draft something to deal with it, might be at a little bit of a disadvantage there.
Thinking Avatar. Not too much in Korea, but in other regions, Avatar has been picked so many times, even banned in any of the global maps. I think Avatar's power just comes as a semi-global to empower any of the hero that he has the hat on. Even the wave clear is pretty good. That's not a bad one, but I think Gen.G might have seen too much EU there.
Well, you talk about comfort picks. Judy going right back on the Anu Barak. I actually really loved his Anu play in game number 1. And so I'm excited to see that again. The Junkrat coming back. You know, we've been seeing more and more Junkrat. I think it was like 3-4 games played yesterday. So I guess it does make a little bit of sense here, specifically Sky Temple. But what are the final 2 picks for Gen.G going to look like? Because they still need something to maybe deal with the semi-global, but no grabbing Li Ming at the end.
Alex Straza has been coming up even with the life binder most of the time, and it can still be that way because of the burst. I think it can totally be possible if they want to go sustain. Of course, cleansing flame, but against Raynor Li Ming, I think life binder is not a bad choice. Been seeing a lot more Alex Raza because of the tempo fight, especially pre-10 or right at 10. The bottom tempo fight has been basically the one that determines the snowball who's going to snowball from that momentum, and then you are most likely to win if you have a big lead from that moment. You get the tempo and you get the boss, and then you have massive level gap from that point on. That's why Alex Raza started to pop up so much, not just in Infernal Shrines. And it's going to continue in Korea, but we do have Jimmy Rayner for Gen.G.
This is Jimmy, and he's here for the first time in HGC Korea. Glad to see that things are really changing up here. You know, I'm still not totally familiarized with the 6-man system myself, so I got a little bit to learn there. But when it comes to seeing things just really changed up, I'm happy and excited to watch the best teams in the world show us what it looks like. And you know, for Gen.G, they did not show us what it looked like to have the reworked Azmodan. Maybe this is the rework that will lead them to victory.
Let's take a look how Rich builds the Strainer. I guess with the Riptire, there are lots of burst potential, and I think it's just going to be the armor at 4 and maybe go into the fuel at 7. Let's take a look as we go through the game here. Rich holding that Rainer. So far, just looking for a possible gank, but not going to happen. He may just get trapped as that's 5 men in the middle.
You know, for a hero that now has a talent called Give Him Some Pepper, I think most of what Rainer's been giving people is salt from a little bit of perceived strength. He certainly seems very powerful when it comes to Hero League, but I know you were actually looking up some stats on counters to Rainer. It turns out there's just quite a few.
Yeah, only 1/4 of the heroes out there in the Nexus are... Well, it was just on the website. I don't think all of them are straight counters.
Right. Well, the idea is that hard CC is a great way to deal with Rainer because it turns out that he's still pretty squishy and does take quite a while to kind of power up. So no matter how much pepper he is able to give you, he still dies once you lock him down.
That's a real weakness, and he's against the Nubarak.
Oh, sick trap there on the face check, Judy. Bro charging right back out of there.
Does have the power, and they do have some CC that can pair up really well with the ace in the hole. It's going to do 30% more damage to the slowed or CC units there.
You think he's going to go Hyperion or Rainer's Raider?
Oh, Raider. I think it's a really good...
I was watching some of the EU Rainer that actually did go for... Wait, did they go for Hyperion there? I can't remember. Either way. I do agree. I think the DPS is just super, super high, and that is something that Rainer does better than just about every hero out there. Zul'jin is in the back crying because now there's one that does something better than he does.
He actually goes armor for more health.
Okay.
I think that's not a bad choice considering that how he actually has lots of peel. Some peel with the help of Karazim, also Blaze. So it's actually not too much of a bad choice. We do see different builds, so let's see how this stacks up. He does have to get a lot of stacks though to get maximum up to 250 maximum health.
Yeah, so I think that is what, Behemoth armor, something like that. Yes. Either way, it is going to give him a little bit of help when it comes to survivability. And I think that is basically like the reality talent, right? I mean, all 3 of them are the level 4s are designed to help him survive a little bit more. But any time you pick a very high damage assassin, you know you're going to be the recipient of just a lot of damage coming your way. So it makes sense to go for that.
You want to learn some Rainer, or watch him go down, and go to... Was it playxp.hgc.com or hgc.playxp.com? Either one, you can go. All 10 of these players POV happening right now live.
It's actually kind of crazy. If you guys have never watched these players play, that's one of the best ways that you can actually like level up your game is by watching what it looks like to be in their shoes, to see them play in first person. Oh, Judy. Poor Judy. Burrow charged back out. Gets a little bit of a heal there from the fountain. And he's going to come back in. Huge grab there. Oh, Jimmy. Jimmy, not like this. Ginny is out of here. Gets a little bit of that Nova treatment and is no longer here. Kyocha going to be the next to fall. 2 huge picks for Miracle.
And that's why Miracle gave Rainer.
Yeah.
To Gen.G, they fell right into it. Look at that amount of CC. Once you're trapped in there without the bunker, and even Blaze is not too safe.
No. No, and honestly, maybe that's like the Kyocha, I don't know, style. He kind of pulled that same move in game number 1 as well. So, I mean, for Miracle, really, tell me what Rainer did that last fight, G-Clef, because,
It wasn't a team fight, he just got caught in the rotation.
Yeah.
I would say Miracle, in terms of their macro and how they're staying together, it's crazy. And their shot call, usually not this quick of a shot calling team, I would say, but today against Gen.G, they're making something else happen. I think they must have done some crazy amount of practice to go against Gen.G today.
I was going to say the same thing, G-Club. You know, whenever you know you're playing up against, Tempest, Gen.G, some of these titans of, Korean heroes, I think a lot of teams may look at that and be like, well, this is the 3-0 league, we're just going to go in there and lose. Maybe a little bit, of a bad mentality when it comes to that. But it is very evident that Miracle had put in a lot of preparation and work. Not even just at playing their heroes well, but the macro is just so impressive for Miracle against one of the best macro teams in the world.
And that's also another reason why they're falling behind today. As if Gen.G actually drafted into macro only like lots of Falstad, some Dehaka, to global out the entire team of Miracle, because of the basic mechanic difference and understanding of the map, I think Gen.G would have an easier time solving around Miracle's rotation. But because they're focused on the teamfight so much more in this case, and Miracle is the one that banned Falstad in the draft, and they got their Dehaka, having their macro against Gen.G. So their drafting was very intelligent, first of all, and they're having all it work in the game, but this is the moment.
That's right, this is exactly what you were talking about, Gen.G, Gen.G Clef. The bottom temple is very, very important. This is where so many games are won and lost. And actually, Kyocha's Blaze was faster to rotate down than the giant Zerg, whose name I can't remember anymore.
Which one?
Dehaka.
Zergling? Oh, Dehaka,
yeah.
yes.
He's the Primal Zerg. I guess that's a little bit different. Here comes Tis jumping all the way in onto Sniper. Burrow charge in from Judy, kind of surprisingly, but he's got Blue Beetle back in the back to heal him up. Riptire up in the front. Are they going to get a good knockback? There's a sick bunker, but it's just going to be exploded almost instantly. Tis now looking for the re-engage, but he's going to get clapped back right there. Currently, the temple controlled here by Gen.G, but for how much longer? Judy low, and he doesn't get healed up in time.
And that's a
Not
reset.
Jin. Burrows just at the last second.
And stops that. Another reset onto Reset's Li Ming. Perfectly done. Only losing one member as Reset. We could tell that Li Ming was looking for assassination there with the perfect combo with the orb, the missiles, the calamity damage as well. But Gen.G breaks through what it seemed like Miracle staying in together. That teamfight actually looked pretty good for Miracle.
Absolutely. I was really worried there. They blew that bunker up so fast. I was worried that all of a sudden Gen.G might not have enough ability to just stand there straight up and fight, but they did, and they looked good doing it. So finally a big pick and a big objective. Both go their way. Gen.G, they've evened up the level disparity that was right before that point. And now they're pretty much toe-to-toe against Miracle with a little bit more structure damage done.
It was a tough one, as Judy, when he dove in last time, he actually missed. There's a 7-sided life finder will actually get him all back to normal, 100% HP there.
Yep. A nice cocoon there, landed on the Muradin, so he wasn't able to get in and maybe get a counter engage off. But it didn't actually matter all that much. Now, Nacho Jin's down bottom. He's in a little bit of a precarious position. No healing fountain there, so he'd be at half health, but he needs Dehaka, so he'll back up with that trait. And, now the rest of the team is going to rotate down, so maybe a little bit slow on doing that for Miracle.
And that's the reason why Judy is able to dive in even at a low health. He trusts in his support, Alex Raza, to actually do damage, but hold on, they're trying to make something else here, just diving onto the fort, not really getting a kill onto Nacho. He has been the consistent target, just pressuring him so that he doesn't really get that free soak. But Gen.G, they have to make the kills happen, but it is not one of the other opponents, and Nacho has crazy amount of experience on that solo lane.
Now this time, there are even temple distributions, so top and bottom. Realistically, you'd expect each team to get one. Will that be the case this time, though? I think that overall, you can see that the objectives are pretty even at this point. I think maybe there's slightly higher fort health for Miracle, but it's pretty even. So what is the big advantage that do you think either team has a big advantage? I mean, Miracle are slightly higher level. It's the only thing I see.
I think Miracle will hold their advantage unless they suddenly go dive in alone and get 7-sided and lose one. That's going to be most likely Judy. But that's why he also has to be careful, and they just have to remember that they have the global. So Gen.G starting the boss, calling the Haka to come down because they have the bottom tempo control as well. So they're trying to keep, oh, Sake actually does not get dashed through that boss tornado.
Yeah, that was a it's a little bit rough there. Sake almost going down. So unfortunately, this kind of bait from Gen.G is not going to cause the Haka to rotate down, staying on that temple. Now, one minor difference is that the low health fort for Miracle was actually being targeted by that lower temple that Gen.G captured, whereas Miracle's temple actually targeted the high health fort. Ultimately was able to take it down, and the turrets are actually now just one in favor of Gen.G because of that.
I'll be honest with you guys, Miracle does not look like the same team today, but I've seen them. They are the same roster. I've seen their faces.
They were on camera.
Their faces on camera. I've seen them in real person
and then
just a few minutes ago.
You see a guy blink, but he blinks on a 47 frame interval over and over again. You realize it's a replay. There are robots, and the feed's been hacked.
Grab it, please. There's the Lifebinder, keeping Judy alive again.
Oh, all the way through the 7-sided, Judy lives. And great job done. And even on the re-engage, Kyocha cannot follow up on a Nacho and Judy. Man, I gotta say, the Alex healing, the tank engages, they just look so good for Miracle.
So, Alex Straza just filling in what could be a mistake from Judy, what could have been many, many times with his Anubarak play. Face checking in because Gen.G does have the crazy burst with 7-sided that's down on the cooldown now. It's not the longest cooldown, so it does come back, but around the same time with the Lifebinder as well.
The Haka tried to grab the Rainer's Banshee out of the air, but just couldn't quite grab it. It's a little bit, looked a little bit like a chameleon grabbing a fly there for a second.
And that is actually their goal, to cut one off by having Kerosene. That's what they have been doing all the games before, by getting a kill, having some CC, try to gank on one target, make sure they have some percent, even against Garrosh. It works almost every single time. Lifebinder just having everything together.
No, and it's a great choice too, because you were talking about Dragon Queen. It's so important, but Lifebinder, just you could see it work in action just beautifully. And maybe it's a little bit. Excuse me. Sorry, I was kind of choking on all this great heroes action.
Oh man, Gen.G's choking, I know.
Gen.G knows how I feel right there. To be fair though, they did take that bottom temple, and they have looked pretty good since then. So it's not like they're totally dead. They have temple control right now, but I want to see how
focusing
Miracle react
on
to this.
Sniper gets the Lifebinder, so Judy has to be careful in this case. Cocoon out gets the CC, but the backline is so safe. Rich and leaving also in that bunker, gets out, but pretty healthy. Focusing on all the missiles connected to Haka, 100%. That will be a kill, and this team fight is lost for Miracle.
Oh man, a great bunker usage as well. Everybody from Gen.G just piles in. They're taking no damage. And Miracle, they do lose, I guess, one of their warriors up in the front. Haka will be gone for now. So, I mean, that's just one of the things we talked about. Using a Lifebinder early before that fight started meant that there was nothing to save Haka in that fight. Nacho getting taken out.
And it is the worst one to get taken out, because Deaga just joined into the team fight. As when it comes back, his Frostalker should still be on cooldown, so it will take a long time. Temple's already done. And because they know that the Haka cannot join in ASAP, Gen.G is pressuring out, pushing them out, and maybe looking for a boss, but here we go, 7-sided. Lifebinder once again. Judy is safe.
Great save there on Judy. Will Nacho survive a little bit longer? The
Isolation, no bunker from the Blaze, so their targets actually do go down, and they're trying to catch the Rainer. This is what
Jimmy!
happens.
Poor Jimmy. Not like this. And boom goes the dynamite. Pepper not allowed to be imported into this battleground.
What
Miracle.
if you had 25 armor? Still goes down.
No,
so that's Rainer.
There you go. Yeah, and that's one of the biggest counters to Rainer. If you are separated, if you are CC'd, the counterplay is just not there. And you can see one of the big liabilities to yet again this team comp drafted by Gen.G, Miracle exploited, and they'll take the boss because of it.
That was a tough one. Gen.G might have miscalculated on that brush tucker, and Nacho-Jin read perfectly. What's keeping them alive so far? What is one tool that's keeping Rainer alive, leaving alive so far from all the pokes? What's the bunker? They get into that bunker, they're safe, and got the isolation onto Blaze. That was the moment the Riptire popped, so Miracle had the perfect synergy there, trusting into Nacho-Jin's isolation. It's great teamwork. And they're continuing the snowball here. Yeah, with Judy on that cocoon, his cocoon just looks great. As a noob, I gotta say, I want to see him on this hero every single game. It's looking great. Boss coming down bottom, and it doesn't look like there's a whole lot standing between Miracle and Gen.G's keep, their first keep of the game, and I think it's just gonna go down here. I mean, Fregel's doing a good job zoning up top, and there's nobody really overextending here for Miracle. You see Junkrat getting a little bit of poke damage. That's the first keep of the game for Miracle. They don't really have to overextend. They already popped the dragon mother. Well, in Miracle, they just have to wait for 20. Get one more with the tempo. I think the middle keep is pretty healthy. Even the wall is up there, so it may not be the entire keep with this tempo. But let's see, so far they're not really making the macro work, as right after the keep, seems like they actually want to fight right after 20. We'll see.
Oh, just a few more points of experience, and there it is, 20.
Yes, Gen.G does smell it. They're saying it's a little bit weird. We have no one on top for some reason. Where's that Dehaka?
Where could he be? Perhaps waiting right off to the side, and this 20 is going to be a big advantage for Miracle.
The Miracle also has the watchtower on top.
Oh, here comes Nacho-Jin.
Going into Northern only. There's a life fight on our Judy once again.
That does save him very high health, but dropping down again.
Salvo basically canceled from that bunker, so they wasted a lot of damage there. Gen.G fighting against 20, and that's how you do it. Basically killing all the damage by going into the bunker. They have done it already.
Now, Nacho-Jin still has isolation here, so there's a lot of pick potential. Going back in, the re-engage is good. Tist almost drops down, but he actually manages to survive off to the back, and that's Kyoja getting a big kill on Nacho-Jin.
And that's the power of Murden, the power of Clap. You get your own healing by attacking the enemy heroes. That W, that's how you do it. That's exactly how Tist survived. Without that, he was going to go down 100%. And you focus on the tank. Of course, you think you can actually kill him, but sometimes you just can't. He's a Murden still.
Now, because this is Sky Temple, we are going to see the game end guaranteed here in just a little bit. Damage is happening onto the keeps, but for Gen.G, they've already lost one. So keep health is kind of your resource on this map, and it's evaporating for both teams. For Miracle, they might start to lose their own keeps just due to losing these objectives from being, I guess, having their Dehaka keep getting picked off in these fights.
That was still some amazing play, actually, to decide to teamfight against 20 when they were actually losing in HP for moments. They had to get everything together, and they got the bunker. They had to sustain for themselves, and to survive. I think that was the most important one for them. Miracle looking to dive in once again. It's a little risky, as Gen.G did hit 20 as well.
I would like to point out that I think this is that the Dusk
oh, yes,
Wings upgrade
Raider
on
upgrade,
20?
yes.
So that is the Raider upgrade. So we're going to see a little bit of hyperflight rotors.
Yeah, not the execute, which we see a lot more.
Yeah. No, not my Banshee. It is going to survive just barely, and it should heal up pretty quickly after that. But that just means that the DPS is going to be even higher.
We'll have to see. They're trying to gank onto Dehaka. Nacho-Jin smells it. He's already backing up. Look at that. What a great solo laner. Just knowing the information that no one's around. It's got to be one of those possible ganks up there. So just being safe makes a safe rotation around his teammates. Securing the watchtower now. But by this time, Rainer does so much damage.
Yeah,
you can't just focus on more than anymore because those sprays will actually do quite a lot of damage onto everyone that's nearby the main target.
Yeah, and that's I think one of the biggest changes to Raynor's late game is that you either have to guaranteed focus him down, at which point you're gonna take a lot of damage from the rest of the team, and if you don't, it's no longer, oh, he can focus the tank and he won't take a lot of damage, because the damage splashes, and so you're just gonna take so much no matter who Raynor is focusing. So at this point, Gen.G are having a really big power spike. They've equalized the level disadvantage. They've equalized the structure disadvantage. And I gotta say, Miracle, if you can do it now, I'm a believer. I'll be the biggest Miracle fanboy. But Gen.G, you just can never count these guys out.
Miracle, they do not have to go in all the way. They can pressure a little bit, but not 100% dive like Judy does all the time.
Okay, not committing life finder, but Judy's dropping way low. There it is. It will come out and heal him back up to full,
but not Phoenix.
Nope. Phoenix is out of there. Not the hero you wanted up in the front lines. That's a big objective to lose now. Miracle are going to take the consolation prize, or try to. Will they be able to, G-Clef?
They're going to try this 4v4 as Blaze is still in the middle.
Nacho Jin taking a lot of damage, but in the end, it's Tis taking maybe a little bit more. Of course, Avatar will help him out a little bit. The Riptide actually not getting activated there at the end, and here comes Rich. Watch Rich in the backline. He's just dealing so much damage that Miracle have to back out.
The reset from the side was looking for that snipe onto Sniper as well. Rich was trying to be a bait himself. He knew that he can survive some of the damage. And all that time, they actually got a few more shots in the mid temple as well. So, Gen.G, they got all 3 kills now. The macro is against Miracle.
Nacho actually grabs in onto the Raider and not actually onto a hero itself. There's another Lifebinder to once again save Judy, help him out there. Bunker just almost single-handedly zoning Miracle back and giving another temple to Gen.G. They're down to their core at this point.
Oh, a big snipe from Reset and 3. They are trapped in there. Phoenix comes down, but still a 5v4, and it's going to connect with Alex Strada. Judy will be the next one to fall, and that will be game. The temple shots will not finish the core. Maybe let's see how much damage it will actually do till end. They're running for that core now. Raynor seems like we'll have higher than 50% for now in HGC.
Rich is going to help those stats out just a little bit. Actually, he might just back off and let his Raider finish things off. But of course, the rest of Gen.G will pile through. Take a win on Sky Temple for Gen.G.
And still Archon, 100% win rate. We have that secured all the time. And that was not a clean game. Not just because of Raynor, but I think Miracle had a great drafting and their Alex Raza work, making sure she keeps one alive that would make some mistakes. She was keeping everyone alive. Judy sometimes, even Sniper when the Junkrat was about to go down to all those missiles to Li Ming. It was great. Blue Beetle just making some super plays. He had some great game on this Alex Raza today.
His Alex Straza looked great. I would say that Judy also looked good on a Nubarak, but a couple of times he got caught out. And even though the save from Blue Beetle was there, it's kind of interesting the Blue Beetle is saving the Blue Beetle, but that was still a little bit too big of a setback for the upcoming fight. Gotta say, Gen.G really did impress me at their last couple of fights. That level 18 versus level 20 disadvantage, they still fought and won. It takes a very good team to do that.
We did have a Raynor win in this game. That's the result. That's the reality of what we had. But if we look at the early game until mid game, until we had a kill onto Dehaka, which was a focus fire.
Right.
Until that moment, Miracle was winning hard for the 14 minutes before. So we could see what Miracle has been focusing. Some of their Dehaka plays with the macro. And great drafting, to be honest, with the 3 bans. Letting that Raynor go instead. Picking up Judy's Anubarak. Seems like he's working really well. Of course, he's face checking a little bit. But still, he has a trust with the Lifebinder. I think Alex Raza will be very likely banned when we come back from the commercial break very soon in Game 3. And once that's done, I wonder what else Miracle actually has in their hands. Maybe something else.
I was going to say, if Miracle can, in each one of these games, illustrate that they have a drafting plan and plays laid out for each of the different maps, like if they can go not only the distance in the draft phase now that it takes a little bit more planning, but also illustrate that their plans in game can actually be executed successfully, then look out. This might be one of the first middle of the pack teams that starts to climb up there and go toe to toe with these upper teams. And I mean, already even just taking a win, I know we make a lot of jokes about 0-3, but it's not going to be that way today. We'll head out to a quick commercial break and see who will come out on top when we come back.